The world is facing great challenge of climate change. Last 5 years have been the hottest 5 years since record began. And this climate change is the greatest headline. But climate change is only a symptom, not the cause of the problem. The cause is the kind of economy we have built in the world. The industrial, consumerist, materialist, money-based economy. Actually, it is not economy, it is money-nomy. So the greatest challenge or greatest obstacle in our time at this moment in the context of climate change is this kind of economy. So we have to think of a new economy in order to address this greatest challenge of our time. The problem is the conditioning of our minds. We are somehow conditioned that economy or money, what I call money-nomy, money will make us happy. This idea that without money we cannot be happy, this idea has to change. This is the greatest obstacle. And because of this obstacle, we don't do what we need to do. We need to change our economy. And rather than thinking the economy will make us happy, we have to think that we have to have a good water, good air, good soil, good communities, good health, good nature. All those things are missing. We have no clean water, no clean air, no good soil, no communities, no families, no human relationship. You have money, money, money. We are going to not survive. And so we are not acting because we have minds are conditioned to think that money is the only thing will make us happy. That has to change. The change of mind can come through right kind of education. At the moment, all our universities around the world, America or France or China or India or any other country, Africa, South America, everywhere, we are being educated for jobs. We have to change that. We have to educate people for life, how to live a good life, how to cultivate our imagination. At this moment, our education does not help us to cultivate our imagination. This is the biggest fault line in educational system. So education is only giving us information, education of head. We need to change this system and we have to create a new kind of education, which I have tried to create at Schumacher College in England. Education of head, education of hearts, and education of hands. So that we can think, but we can also feel. Our heart is also full of compassion, of understanding, of love, of generosity, of appreciation of nature and families and communities and human societies. And also we need to educate our hands how we can make something beautiful, something which is satisfying. So particularly in countries like Africa, South America, Asia, where industrialism is not so prevalent, consumerism is not so prevalent, we need to educate our young people there in those countries to learn to make something beautiful and meet their needs, but not their greed. And I would like to see our countries like Africa and Asia and South America not to copy the failed Western economic industrial system. If you copy this, you will have the same problem of pollution and waste in Africa, in China, or India, or Asia, or South America. So we need a new kind of education in these countries especially, so that we know how to educate our heads, our hearts, and our hands, so that we can build a good community, not based on greed, but based on need, so that we can also cultivate our culture, our poetry, our music, our art, and our craft, and have time for ourselves and time to enjoy life. That is the new kind of education that we need, a holistic education. it is possible. If you take many cultures of Asia and Africa, the Bushmen of Kalahari and the indigenous people of North America and South America and the people of Tao tradition in China and Hindu and Buddhist tradition, they have always been able to speak to the heart, how to develop compassion, how to develop kindness, how to develop generosity, a sense of service, a sense of relatedness, that we are all related. All human beings have come from the same source of nature. We are all made of nature. We are made of soil. We are made of earth, air, fire, water. We have one source of life. And so we are all one. And that feeling is the feeling of the heart. It's not something kind of intellectual, rational knowledge that can make you feel like that. It has to be feeling of the heart. And in our education, in our schools, in our classroom, we have to have a time when we can talk about heart. We can talk about poetry. We can talk about imagination. We can talk about culture. And those things are heart related. Unless you have a good feeling, you cannot be a poet. Unless you have a feeling, deep feeling, you cannot be a painter or a dancer or a musician. So in order to be who you are, you need to develop your whole person. And we are whole body. We are not just head. We are whole body. So heart, hands, feet, whole body, education of whole body, through whole body. At the moment, our teachers in schools and universities think the students have no body. They have only head. So they don't teach their heart. They don't teach their how to move with their legs, walking. Walking is not taught. We say you go by car or go by train. And hands, we don't do anything. We don't know how to build a house. We don't know how to make furniture. We don't know how to build shoes or how to grow food, anything. So whole body education, that is what we needed. That is holistic. At the moment, education is very narrow. Just your head, information, so I can get a job. The purpose of life is not to get a job. Purpose of life is to live a good life. And job is only to help you to live a good life. Job is a means to an end. Money is also a means to an end, but not the end, not the goal of life. But at the moment, money and job has become the goal of life. And this is why we have this environmental crisis and a climate change crisis and all the other crises that we have today. Spiritual ecology is to see nature not as a dead object, but as a subject. See nature as alive. Nature has intelligence. Nature has spirit. The spiritual ecology to see the trees are living beings. Animals are living beings. The birds in the sky flying are living beings. And they have a soul, they have a spirit. And when you realize that, then you develop a sense of the sacred. And when you have a sense of the sacred, then it becomes a spiritual ecology. At the moment, we think that nature is there only to meet the human needs. So humanity has become superior. And all our trees and animals and everything else in nature is there only for human use. Humanity is controlling everything for their use. We think nature is our servant, our slave. We use nature as we like. That's a materialistic ecology. Even if you take care of the forest from a materialistic point of view, that's a materialistic ecology. But when you say nature has intrinsic value, deep ecology, nature has a right to live. As humans have rights, human rights, rights of nature. And respecting and revering the earth and seeing earth as a place of sacred, that sense of the sacred, then is a spiritual ecology. We teach spiritual ecology at Schumacher College, and we say that first of all, you have to have a deep experience in order to have deep ecology. So how do you have a deep experience? You go out in nature, in the wilderness. Sometimes at Schumacher College, we have a whole night people spend in nature. Whole night, vision quest, whole night. When you have deep experience, then you have deep understanding. And when you have deep understanding, then you make a deep commitment that this is nature, I am nature, and I have no right to spoil, to waste, to pollute, to damage, to harm nature. So when you do not damage and harm and pollute and waste nature, then you have a deep commitment. So deep ecology comes from deep experience of nature, and then deep commitment to protect and take care of nature, and then you have a deep ecology, kind of embodiment of deep ecology. You know, I established Schumacher College because I was inspired by an author called E.F. Schumacher. And he wrote a very beautiful book called Small is Beautiful. Yeah. So one of the most inspiring book I have read, and this is why I called the college Schumacher College, because small is beautiful. And at the moment in our Western culture, we think that everything has become bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. Big factory, big hospitals, big cities, big industry, big business, everything big, big, big. We have forgotten the importance of small, simple, modest, moderate, good things. So Small is Beautiful is one of the most inspiring books I have read. Yes, yes. So inspired by E.F. Schumacher, I have written my own book called Elegant Simplicity.